all they are doing is prospecting for leads for business. And there's two parts. One, they cold calling expires, withdrawn, and looking for for motivated sellers. That's what they call it. Okay, so they're calling for to make appointments. So so they do that. They cold call, right? That's where I used. That's where we had Weena doing, right? So she would cold call whatever number, and then pre-qualify them and then pass them to me, right? Or put them in that list and then we'll follow up. And so cold calling those lists try to get you business immediately, right?
Yeah.
And then you set up appointments. And then so that's the second part, set up the appointments to present the listing to see if you can get the deal. Right? So that's two parts, right? So you cold call all day and then you set up appointments to go to between, let's call it after lunch. Let's just say you go to prospect properties between 1 and 3. So between 1 and 3, you go to these properties or however long you decide, or however much time you have in your life. And so after that, then you put the package together and then you start to follow up. So and then like either 3 4 times a week, and then the rest would be meetings, right? Or they can go to meetups and so on. So but the raw prospecting happens at least 3 times, if not 5 times a week. Whether they do it for 2 hours a day or 5 hours, depending what you got going on in your life. So that's one part of it. And then you get meetups and so on. So that's how they taught me about revenue producing activity. And then obviously it adds more to it than that. So for me, what does that look like? It would be, now I want to start putting them down on paper and then put the note. I need to share that with you tomorrow. What is my revenue producing activity will look like that can yield us the most money, right? So, like I mentioned, so is it going to be calling? Like we just started to dissect it, right? We talked about the luxury market. We talked about the white glove delivery, and then we talked about the realtors, right? And then I guess start identifying what that looks like. So I should be prospecting every morning for 2 hours at the minimum, making those calls, and then go after that, go to meet up with them, right? Meet up with realtors, and then I guess go to their brokerage. We don't need that many, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm talking a lot. What do you think about all that I said? I was just excited to share a little bit about how I started in the real estate market. And so they talk about the revenue producing activity. Now, were we calling $500,000 homes, or are you calling $2 million homes? So the people that's calling the $2 million homes have a much higher level of revenue producing activity. So that person's activity is in the millions, where mine's is in a few hundred. So anyway, that's kind of what that would look like. I would imagine for us as we start identifying where I need to be with your assistant. I mean, I know. Let me give you the. I took the light was green for me for too long. Let me give you the light now. Share a little bit about what some of the things that I said and what your thoughts are.
No, I think those are great. Earlier we have the number, right? So everything is coming into the line. Eventually, then now we have the action steps, so to speak. So I think tomorrow would be a good start to execute some of those. I think even today, if we could kind of map that out, I think, yeah, execution would still be the king. So yeah, we definitely want to start those out, and then we keep them under the pipeline, and then we also create a system where we follow up.
Hmm. Okay, and then perfect. And then also, like as we were talking about, we already doing anyway. Is we signed up for the vendor list, follow up, vendor smart. What is it called again?
Vendor smart.
Do you know? Hmm?
Vendor smart.
That one. Yep. So, I guess reach out. Let's dig into a little bit about those folks. Because we are vendors, right? Let's dig in a little bit more on that, right? I'm trying to see how can we get that credit. Who else is like similarly to Vendor Smart? What are some of the other portals that who the hell is Vendor Smart, right? And just like what's interesting is you heard of Better Business Bureau, right?
Yep. Yes.
And it wasn't until a few years ago I thought it was a government entity.
I thought too. It's not.
That's the news. Now you know. It is not. Some smart person created Better Business Bureau.
I see.
That's a that's a private entity. Now the whole world, including you, who's in the business, right, thought that too. Until I just brought it up, you would have never looked it up.
Yeah.
So when they look it up, are you looking it up now?
Hmm. Yeah. It's a private non-profit organization.
Isn't that impressive?
Yeah.
So they set up that structure, and not, when everyone goes in there, they think it's a government entity.
Yeah, and the businesses almost want to like be certified for them. So
Say that again?
yeah, and businesses are almost always want to be certified.
Correct. And everyone is begging to be in Better Business Bureau.
Yeah.
And no one understands that it's just like Yelp, just like Google. And so, but everyone prefers, everybody's like, oh, Better Business is better. The name. The guy killed them with the name. He killed them. When you hear Better Business Bureau, the guy put bureau behind the freaking name.
Yeah,
Isn't that crazy?
for sure.
And then so that structure is well structured, right? Because it's a nonprofit. Well, the president, I'm pretty sure, take a really pretty fat salary.
Yeah.
So I mean, what does this mean for us, right? So it's as we start looking into, because they texted me the other day, they told me somebody left us a review. I was like, I don't care about you. Stop harassing me. We don't want to be on your portal. But I would have not done that if I knew, because I'm thinking it's the government entity before. So you have more credibility there. So where can we get credibility? That's like on a massive. I guess obviously we're doing Google. We're doing good with that. Anyway, I'm just trying to figure out who else other than vendor. Let me Google that, and let's keep pushing on that.
Sure.
And has Josh returned any of our had shared anything from with us?
Not yet. He just opened the email.
Okay. He opened it. I'm sure he's not thinking much about it, right?
Yeah,
And then we also talked about the senior living community. Well, we haven't touched base with those at all.
yeah. We just have to follow up because we're already under list under system.
Correct. So that's my revenue producing activity is go ahead and get back into nurturing those relationships
Yep,
because those are higher revenue producing activity that can yield the company, if not twice as much, maybe more than twice as much on the jobs.
for sure.